In this video, we're going to see how you can add and configure projects inside of ESO. First, to add the project, you must select Start in the top left and select Add Project. It will then bring you to this page. Then what you must do is fill out the red required fields. First, you will select a project status. Then you will input a project number and a project name. All of the other fields are up to you and if you want to fill them out. We do recommend at least putting a zip code in for the project, as this will auto-populate weather on your daily reports just in case you run into any weather delays. Then you can continue to fill out whatever information you choose to fill out, and you can press Save Data to create the project. Once the project is created, it's going to automatically bring you to this page called the Configure Project page, and this is where we can now set up our project. If you ever need to get to this page for a project that's already created, you just select the name of the job, and then from the navigation bar at the top, you select Project and Configure Project to come to this page. Now when you get to this page, it's just a checklist, start from the top, work your way down the bottom. What we have done previously is we have set up a master list of contacts, users, employees, and cost codes, and we're now going to apply them to individual projects as they need. So for this page, we're going to configure this project specifically. What we're going to do is first click Add Contacts to Project, and it's going to take us into the next page where we can come in here and we can specify which contacts are part of this job. Now, contacts are anyone that you're going to address on the to or from field of a document. So you're going to need to add in any of your general contractors, subcontractors, supplier, vendors, or even employees that you may need to be addressing on the top of documents. Once you have done with this step, you can go to the bottom, press Save Data, and then you can use the black bar at the top to navigate back to the Configure Project page. After that, you can continue moving through the next steps. Edit Project Information comes next. This will take you to the last page that we're in, so you can then just edit any of the previous project information that you had. So if you need to add in any other information at a later date, you can. But also, now that you've assigned contacts to the project, you can specify who those key contacts are. So if you want to list who the estimator is or who the project manager is, you have that ability here as well. Once you're done with this, you can scroll to the bottom and press Save Data, and then of course come back to the Configure Project page. After editing the project information, you're then going to add users to the project, and this is just like adding contacts to the project. You can open it up, go into the next page, and you're going to specify which users are allowed to have access to this project. If a user does not have access to the project, they cannot enter the project, they cannot see any information inside of it, and they cannot create information. So anyone that you need to be able to see this project at all, you're going to go ahead and check mark next to their name, and then press Save Data and go back to the Configure Project page. After you are done setting up your users, you can then set up your employees for the project. Employees are anyone that we're going to be tracking time for on this job. So in the next page, you can either quickly select all and add all of your employees to the job, and then as you create data reports, you can pick and choose which ones, or you can go down the list and you can quickly specify which employees you want on the job itself. Then those will be the only people that are allowed to get their time tracked on this job. Same as before, once you are done with these steps, scroll to the bottom, press Save Data, and move back to the Configure Project page. After you're done setting up the people for this job, the contacts, users, and employees, we then get down into the job costing structure of things, which is cost codes. Now, cost codes are how we're going to define the scope of work. So first, we have to open it up, and then we're going to choose which cost codes are actually part of this project. So if it's a scope that we're not doing, we set the cost code to hide. If it's a scope that we are doing, we set it to display, and then we can track against that code moving forward. Once you have set this page up the way that you need it, you can move to the bottom, press Save Data, and of course go back to the Configure Project page. Once you have chosen the codes that you're going to be using for this job, you can then go in and set up estimates or set up your budget for those codes specifically. You can then come in here and you can see all the codes that you chose to display over on the left, and you can set up a corresponding labor, material, subcontractor, equipment, overhead, or other budget. Once you have set your budget in place, you can go ahead, you can press Save Data, and you can navigate back to the Configure Project page. From there, you can then move into Contract Amounts. Contract Amounts is going to be able to pull across your budget from all of those corresponding codes. And then it's going to give you your lump sum budget and your total cost on this project. You can then input the total revenue or how much money you plan on bringing in from this job, and it's going to give you your expected gross margin, and this is what's going to populate within your reports. We can go ahead and we can press Save Data and navigate back to the Configure Project page. Once you have done those steps, you have done some of the most important pieces to setting up a job. The last two steps come down to milestones and files. Milestones are going to be an area where you can go in and you can set up estimated dates on milestones that you hope to achieve. So whatever milestones you want to create, you can customize this list and you can set up estimated versus actual dates for when you actually achieve those marks. Once you're done setting up this information, you can press Save Data and go back to the Configure Project. This then leads us into the very last step, which is your project files. Your project files are anything that we need to upload and get out to our team. So you select Project Files. It takes you to the next screen where you can come in here and then upload a file as you need. So if you need to get any drawings or specs out to your team, you can easily upload them here and they have access to it from either the website or of course the mobile site as well. And then once you're done with this, you have fully set up your project, and the next step is just advanced setup if you have more in-depth details.